All right, happy Sunday, everyone. Let's get straight into it and let's pre-plan for the week ahead. This was a weekly low, which I do have alerts there. So yeah, we're still pretty bullish, as you can see. We have left demand below. This has been mitigated. Obviously, there'll be a lot more pre-planning to do, if you will, when we see the actual weekly open. Otherwise, yeah, there's not really a whole lot here. I think that this is going to be mitigated. Yeah, so on gold, we're just going to have to wait and see what the weekly open brings us, because outside of that, there's not a whole lot to do just yet. Yeah, that's all I have for gold. Let's look at silver. So the story seems to be the same. Yeah, story is the same. Still bullish. Is that demand? We'll double check. No. No, this is not valid demand. All right, let's look at oil. Yeah, so this comes down to how we're going to open during the week. Oil also comes down to, oh no, yeah, sorry. Plus with silver, there's demand below and then there is supply above. So yeah, there's also liquidity below. And then in terms of more refined demand here, yeah, may as well. We do have this as well. Yeah, that's fine. I'll double check gold once more. Yeah, no. Nah, gold is just still bullish, but there's just no real POIs that I'm interested in. There is some liquidity, which might get grabbed. You can put this down as liquidity. We'll see. Oil. Still bullish, not a whole lot to do. We have actually left behind liquidity above, which I'm quite confident that will get grabbed. Now, normally this is not a liquidity high or liquidity POI because it has mitigated supply, but because we've come right back up, then it is valid liquidity. So this will stay as is. Okay. Now let's look at NZD CAD. So oil, just to really summarize, not much to do here. We are in an overall bullish context. So if the weekly open can take us towards this demand, then we can long it later in the week, then perfect. But other than that, not a whole lot to do. NZD CAD. Okay, so this is, I actually took this. Should not have taken it. This comes down to poor psychology entirely. I went to short this low time frame short low time frame, we're actually bullish. So it's a semi counter context move. High time frame, we're just bearish on the daily, and then even the weekly is bullish. So there's no reason for me to short this. We had demand below twice. We got demand here, demand there. And as you can see, there is no return to zone whatsoever, which is a key confluence for us. We need a return to zone, but obviously, given I hadn't taken a trade the last week at all, psychology did get the better of me. I am aware that it got the better of me, and yeah, I then shorted a very low probability move. The only thing that was intact here, or that was somewhat of a confluence, was that we had grabbed Asia high right here, and we did not grab Asia low. So theoretically speaking, Asia low is a really good liquidity target, especially for London and New York. If Asia high has been grabbed during London, then you can expect New York to hunt down that Asia low, which never happened. But there was reasons for it to not happen because we're trending bullishly, and there's also no return to zone. We're leaving demand. It showcases that market makers want to continue pushing price up, but we thought otherwise, or I thought otherwise. Yeah, and I paid the consequences. Now I have already journaled this, so I don't need to leave it here. Yeah, and I will remove this off the chart, but there's a lesson for you guys. Stick to your psychology and stick to your strategy. I didn't stick to my strategy here. I went for a very low time frame move, which I should not have gone for, and paid the price. Actually, that has been mitigated, so I'm just going to leave that lower time frame demand there. We don't need the Asia low anymore. But yeah, overall, we're still trending bullishly. So, and also one thing I did mention, we're actually in a higher time frame range. So we've got our tap one, Wyckoff low. We have our tap two. We've got a really clean extreme liquidity PI, and we've got not the best extreme supply PI, but that extreme liquidity PI is very, very clean. So yeah, there's reason to go higher, and I went for a short in a very awkward area of the range, so of the chart. So yeah, not a whole lot more to do now for this pair other than just wait for the weekly open and see what happens. I think there might be some low time frame. Oh no, it's all been mitigated. All right, let's look at Euro USD. We are obviously trending bullishly now. This range is invalid. I'm not interested. We're still bullish. We have SFP. We have SFP'd our hourly low, and it's probably also a 4-hourly low, to be honest. Yes. This could also be a 6-hour. Let's have a look. No, actually, no, I think it's a 4. It's a 4. No, it's a 6-hour. This is valid 6-hour structure. Yeah, it all depends on how we close here. If we do close, this is our market structure low, which I will chart. So it'll be very important as to how and if we close here, which yeah, we'll find out on the weekly open. We've also got demand below. Obviously, we've broken to bullish, sorry, on the daily. So that is very valid. So yeah, overall we're quite bullish. So expect us to go higher. Not much more to do. Look for retracement POIs. We could be bearish temporarily and pull back in and accumulate. Pardon me, and accumulate off this demand, but only time will tell. If we are to go higher, there's no real POI slowing us down, to be honest. It's just liquidity, so yeah. we have room to go higher, and we're in somewhat of a confirmed accumulation as well. All right, let's have a look at USD CHF. Yeah, still bullish. Based on that candle, I think we're going to open lower. So I don't think this range is going to stay a range. Yeah, let's see what the weekly open brings us. Not much to do there. Don't need this. I don't need this. Don't need this. Trying to figure out what. Okay, this was a weekly high. Did we close above it? I don't think we did. No, we did not. This is a valid SFP. We can expect a full rotation down. It's not a confirmed. It's not confirmed, but we can expect a full rotation down, as that is what tends to happen with a SFP. Although there is a lot of demand below, so that's also something to be aware of. Yeah, given we're still bearish on the weekly, I could prioritize a distribution locally, which you can target for quite far down, to be honest, just because it is an SFP. Although yeah, at the moment there's no real range to draw from. There just isn't, so you're just gonna have to be patient. Everything, we're still bullish on the week, on the hourly, sorry. We're bullish on the 2 hour as well, bullish on the 4. We've SFP'd the 4 as a matter of fact, so that's a 4 hour SFP there. So we are kind of in like a limbo area, I guess, on GBP USD. We're gonna have to see what the weekly open brings us. Because yeah, price can really go either way here. We could break on the 4 hour and go higher, or we can continue higher and, you know, big weekly candle, because the second candle, if the second candle is bullish and closes above, then that's fine. From an SFP perspective, then that is fine. Yes, we've SFP'd it first, but the second candle is allowed to close above. If the second candle closes above this, as much as it's below this wick, it still counts as breaking structure to bullish on the weekly, because the second candle has closed above this high. As much as it's closed below the wick, it's still closed above this high. So yeah, that is a valid break of structure. So yeah, just because we've SFP'd it for now doesn't mean we can't continue going higher, but we can also go lower and get a full rotation back down. So there's a lot of, yeah, awkward area of the chart at the moment. There's a lot of things that can happen here, so let's just be patient and see what the weekly open holds. Yeah, that is it. AUDCHF, we're in supply. We're in supply, but I think we could still be bearish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're still bearish because that's our hourly high, and it's more than an hourly high. It's also we're also a daily high. No, but it's definitely a 4-hour high as well. Yeah. Yeah, X daily is still bullish. Yeah, this is looking like an SFP on the weekly. Well, it still is. Yeah, at the moment, not a whole lot that can be done from this range just yet. Yeah, same thing. You just have to be patient and see how the weekly open, what that weekly open holds for us. I'm looking at AUD USD. Same thing. Not a lot has changed here. I just gonna have to wait for the weekly open. Euro GBP has smashed through demand, which begs the question, what is the context? So, well, we're still bullish on the 4-hour, that's for sure, but we might be bearish on the hourly. What is that? No, that's a bullish candle. Okay. We're still bullish, guys. This is our hourly low. So yeah, nothing to do here either. I will set an alert for when the hourly low might get hit. But other than that, not a whole lot to do. Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what the weekly open gives us. Okay, Euro NZD. We have absolutely dumped here, failing to hold any sort of demand. We're approaching this demand POI, which is going to be interesting. But we've obviously got supply POIs above. So something to be aware of as well. Yeah, it's an ugly range, let's be real. Where's the weekly low? Well, the weekly being bullish still can have some merit for this being an accumulation, but it's just, you can just see just because it's a high time frame range, the principles apply the same as a low time frame range. You need a return to zone. You need nice range bound price action. This is just market structure. It's a terrible drawing. It's just basic market structure that we're seeing here. Lower highs for a lower low, so we can expect a lower low technically. But yeah, it's not something I would look to accumulate just yet. Let's just see what happens. GBP NZD. Well, we are now bearish on the 4-hour, which is the same as the hourly. And then the daily, are we still bullish on the daily? That's my question. We're a while away from being bearish on the daily. That is our daily low. Yeah. We'll remove this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Honestly, not a whole lot to do at the moment. There just is not a whole lot to do. Let's just be patient. There is some nice liquidity though, which might get grabbed. We'll see what happens. Yeah, not a whole lot to do here. Still bearish. Let's see what the weekly open holds for us. Still have demand here. That's honestly it. USD CAD. Oh, I think this is actually, I think we've actually shifted to bullish here. Oh, this is going to be tight. No, that isn't. That's an inside bar candle, so we are still bearish. Not a lot has changed here, to be completely honest. Yeah. Just wait for the weekly open. That's it. Simple as. I feel like we might mitigate this supply quite soon. So we'll see what happens, but this is a valid range, which I will draw. It's also mitigated demand. So there's nothing really holding the price from going lower. Could this be valid supply? I think it might be. And it's even overlapping supply, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's a great POI, to be honest, so let's see what happens. In regards to the context is fairly okay to short. The only thing we will need is a return to zone at the moment. If we get anything like this, I would not be trading this. I need a much, if the weekly open can be like, let's say like this, and we slowly fill that gap, come back up slowly, and then strong break, then bang, I'm happy to short that. Preferred obviously is we break through this, but then boom, reject here. Yeah, let's see what happens. This could be interesting to watch. We'll move that there. GBP, JPY. All right. GBP, NZD. Yeah, we did just look at that. We've also looked at this. Not a whole lot to do there. Yep. Well, we're bearish now on the 4 hour. So that has now changed. Yeah, still bullish. I wouldn't be looking to accumulate anything just yet. Yeah, not a whole lot at the moment that I'm interested in. We're just gonna have to wait and see what price does. I think it's probably going to grab this low here. Yeah, it's just not much to do at the moment for GBP AUD. And then USD JPY. Still in this range, so we'll just leave this as is. Yeah, we're just going to have to leave this as is. Could this be a local? It's a little too local for my liking. Yeah, it's not really clean, is it? Let's focus on the higher time frame range, so we'll leave this as is. And then AUD CAD is, yeah, still bullish. Still bullish, guys. Nothing has changed here, and we've even left behind some more demand by the looks of it. Believe this is valid, but I will double check. Yeah, it's heavy demand, and it is a valid heavy demand. So that is it for today. Let's see what the week brings us. All right, thank you for listening, for viewing. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.